Welcome to the Pioneers Academy podcast, where we uncover the secrets to business success. Today, we're exploring the essential concept of the sales cycle and its impact on business success. We're excited to have Bimal Shah with us, a master at helping entrepreneurs compress their timelines and achieve their 3 year goals in just 1 year to discuss this topic.
Thank you for having me here, April. Again, welcome to the Pioneers Academy podcast. Very excited to start again on another exciting episode and talk. And one of the most important elements of sales, the sales cycle. So great to have you here, April, and talk more about the sales cycle and what it implies when you want to generate more sales for the company.
Thank you, Bimal. It's a pleasure to be here with you as well. So, Bimal, let's start by clarifying what we mean by the term sales cycle. Can you explain what it is and why it's so important for businesses?
So many companies, when they look at sales cycles, some of them, relate to actual the closing of the appointment or closing in one appointment, but it's different. Sales cycle is the process it takes, from beginning to end when you have a customer that is fulfilled, after they come on board and the whole process of presenting a proposal, whatever the stages are to a close and actual fulfillment of the product. So that is the sales cycle. And the shorter the sales cycle, the more money you make. So many companies I've seen when I start coaching, they believe, the longer the cycle, the better, but that's not true. Actually, the shortest and simpler the cycle is, that's what makes money and that's what makes it easy for companies to scale to the next level. So that's, an overall perspective of a sales cycle as what it takes from the moment you have a customer engaged in discussion to the moment you have it customer, becoming a customer and actually paying you to the actual delivery of the product or service fully executed.
Thanks for that explanation. It's clear that a well defined sales cycle is a key to guiding prospect through a successful sale. So, companies often have a different sales cycle, right? And ranging them from immediate to ones that take years. So, what's the right sales cycle length for a business, Bimal?
So the most important element is to get the customer, to pay you. And if your sales cycle is long, I used to coach an advertising company where their sales cycle would last 9 months to a year. And, even though their product, their delivery of the service was 500,000 or more, and which is why they justified, oh, we have a longer sales cycle because we have a, a bigger, pay at the end. That is true, but that doesn't mean that you need to have a longer sales cycle. So the shorter the sales cycle where the customer, and for that company that, had that longer cycle, they were almost about to close their doors and shut down because they couldn't sustain themselves with this longer sales cycle, which is why I said the sales cycle is very, very critical in making sure that you are able to run your business. So we created a product, a $25,000 product, that instead of, going to a $500,000 cycle and lead slowly and steadily to the customer from 25,000 to 500,000. So that improved the cash flow of the company, and they were able to get more customers in the door and close more, and their business not only thrived, but they were more than 4x in 2 years by this, shortening the sales cycle and introducing a product that was a lower in, investment, but actually making customers and generating cash flow. So sales cycle, the optimal sales cycle is the sooner you're able to get the customer engaged and fulfilled, meaning that there are three steps to it. The prospect is engaged in a discussion where they are talking to you, engaging in what they want. Two, they become a customer, means they close the deal. And three, you fulfill what the deal was closed for. Now, if your process involves cumbersome and extremely large cycles, and when it comes to fulfillment, maybe you can start with a shorter, easy to fulfill process and then lead into the bigger process. And that way you do have a customer, you do have a satisfied customer, who knows that you can deliver on what you say. And if they get faith that you can deliver on this, they will have faith that you can deliver on the bigger project as well. So that is the, the right approach when you're trying to do a sales cycle, is to get the customer fulfilled in these three stages, engaged, closed, and delivered. And when you have these three stages taken care of, the sooner you take care of it, the better off you are.
That's a valuable insight. Tailoring the sales cycle to fit your business context, right? So, it's often said, and you always mentioned it a while ago, that shorter sales cycles can lead to higher profits. What are some strategies businesses can use to build an optimal and shorter sales cycle?
So one is making sure that your delivery. So number one is the first stage of engagement, right? So when you engage the customer, you should have what is your messaging, your sales song that gets the customer engaged, so that you don't have meetings after meetings to close the deal. I have seen that, you know, companies, sales teams, they do 3, 5, 7, 10, or even 15 meetings before they actually close a deal. You should have, no more than 3 meetings, but ideally, if you can close in one meeting, meaning that, you can present what you need to present, you can present whatever needs to be delivered in the first meeting itself, and then you could have follow-ups. So if the customer didn't buy at the first meeting, you can, hey, I'm going to schedule a follow-up later on this. When would be a good time to follow? So that's, the most shortest, first engagement, first process, getting to a sale. Now once they get to a sale, the fulfillment should be quick and easy, meaning that, there are clear stages that are outlined. Customers, the most important thing when they give you money, unless and until you have delivered as to what happens next after they pay you, their expectation is they want everything immediately. So unless and until, you give them, okay, once you pay me, once you have given the contract and you signed on the contract and paid me money, this is what happens in this much timeline. So this is what happens in a day, this is what happens in a week, this is what happens in a month, or this is stage one, this is stage two, this is what time it takes. And if you want to give a documented outline for the same, so the customer is at ease that, okay, once I, pay the money, this is what's going to happen. And they are at ease. So that's what's most important. And the last piece is fulfillment. So that is the strategy to do a shorter sales cycle. And sometimes when you have to prepare very detailed proposal, I know a company where I used to train, they used to sell blinds. They had almost 2.6 million in unfulfilled proposals. They used to spend hours and hours and days and weeks and even months preparing very detailed proposals. Customers say, we'll think about it, and you never hear back. Why? Customers could take the proposal and shop it elsewhere. So we created a strategy where we do a one-page proposal, and you collect a 15% down payment, and then you give them a range. You don't give them an exact pricing. So this way, now once they decide to move forward, you have a budget, and you're even getting paid to do the proposal. So don't give away everything. Customers in the initial stage, when they're looking for, to move forward, they're looking to see if they can trust you to do the right thing, and then you are affordably and rightly priced. And you can overcome those objections, in the very beginning when you start, and the whole process. So that's an ideal strategy. One of the ideal strategies that you can do to, build a shorter sales cycle, is to make sure that you're ready whenever the customer says, I want to move forward. It's not that you are dragging the process. You should be ready the moment the customer says, okay, what's next?
I agree. That's a great suggestions. Like implementing the strategies can definitely help in making the sales cycle more efficient and profitable. Um,
Absolutely.
Bimal, for our listeners who are just beginning to build their sales cycle, where should they start? Are there any manuals or tools that can assist them?
Yes, I have developed several tools, resources, and manuals. So you can actually go on. You're going to put in the show notes below if you're watching this video, or if you're watching the podcast, you should be able to see it in the show notes as well. Bit.ly, the sales cycle manual. And there's also other tools, the sales metrics and the sales song. So these are the key essentials for making sure your sales cycle, the three key essentials, and we'll put the links to the same so you can access it. And then there are breakthrough tools and even a grant. So if you're trying to increase your sales, there are some sales grants that are available to help you grow in sales. So check those out, click on those. It'll walk you through the next steps. And then once you do that, we can follow up and tell you what you qualify for. And if you want to check out the sales manual, you can get that sales manual as well. So lots of tools and resources that you can access.
That's an excellent advice. Using these resources can really help our listeners in setting up a foundation for a successful sales cycle. And Bimal, thank you for the insightful information on the grants as well. What books have you written that shed light on the sales cycles? How can the viewers get these books?
So I have written a 13-book series called Becoming a Pioneer, and I talk about sales in pretty much, many of the books, here and there in different aspects of sales. So you can check out books number 1, 5, 3, and 7 and 8, where I have emphasized on many different aspects of sales and the tools and the methods and the strategies, and all the books are designed as workbooks. And to all the listeners today, who are listening and took the time to listen to this podcast or watch the webcast on YouTube, I'm giving away $100 Amazon gift card to get my books. So if you click on the link on the show notes below, you should be able to access the $100 Amazon gift card and get my books and become a pioneer, achieve your 3-year goal in 1 year.
Thank you so much, Bimal, for all of this insightful information about the sales cycle.
Thank
Catch you in the next episode.
Absolutely. Looking forward to continuing this growth and this sustainability and making you a pioneer. Check out the books. Hello, pioneers and entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3-year goal in 1 year that is tied to your 25-year vision and 5-year moonshot. I do it through 90-day leaps and weekly sprints and through my own proprietary 4-leap system. I've also written 13 books, the Becoming a Pioneer series. I've founded the Pioneers Academy, the Pioneers Platform, and several resources that help you on several different platforms: the Thrive platform, Transform platform, and Transcend platform. So these are resources and tools that I built for you to double your business in a year and scale exponentially and become the only one in your business.